Hey, what's going on, everybody? So it is Friday, going into the Easter holiday, and the market's closed. So I'm just catching up on all the videos, my video backlog to make. And just for full transparency, I wanted to make, I guess, a trading review video for yesterday, which is when I had a pretty big losing day. And so in our Discord, I posted an update that I'm kind of locking this trade snapshot channel, only because I realize it's undue external pressure for me right now. And then also just kind of building out this Discord server and kind of building and playing with AI and doing all these things. I find myself doing a lot, and it's kind of taking away from my trading. And so I've decided to kind of lock down and remove some of that external expectation and pressure on myself. Um, and so like I posted in this update, like this is my first year trading full time. And so I started learning day trading in 2020 in stocks. Got beat up a lot, learned a lot, but got beat up a lot, and then moved to futures mostly because I didn't want to put up another $30,000 to day trade stocks, right? And then so I've been trading futures since then, staying in the thousands or tens of thousands when it comes to live accounts. And it wasn't until this year where I felt okay, like I'm gonna go and just do this full time. And so like I plan to continue updating this trade snapshot channel, to kind of build that track record, and I'll have it in Discord and I'll share it with everybody. Maybe at the end of April, once I like get back to my groove and kind of level set on just my life and trading full time and all that. But I did want to, just for full transparency, walk through the trade. And so I will kind of share that and kind of share like what I did and what I did wrong, but also demonstrating that like the kind of indicators that we're using and ATASX and order flow and all that stuff. If you followed that, it was like perfect, great trades, but like just me and my brain, it wasn't working. Which was kind of funny when I go back and look at it. So just kind of want to share that. So this is the NQ snapshot for the day. And so you can kind of see like it's a nice $1,800 loss. Not the end of the world, right? But it is like a few days of profits. It's kind of like a one step forward, 3 days, three steps back type of thing. And so I figure probably by, Thursday and stuff, I will have that back and be back into the green going into end of week to kind of get April back into the green. And so that's my plan. I'm just going to lock in and do that. But what my problem was, or what happened to me was, if you can kind of see here, I, you know, like I was looking at CVD, it was red. I was like, okay, we're red. We gapped down. We're below VWAP. So I was like, all right. And then I saw this kind of bullish and balanced line here, all that. So I was like, okay, well, we broke. I think at this point, yeah, we already broke low for the day, broke that low, and I was like, okay, let me short. So I short, took a little just a little scalp just to kind of get green for the day and then kind of see how we're doing. And then when I saw us break a new low, I was like, oh man, maybe we're gonna go, because I think there was like a gap down level, or a gap to close level further below, like on the higher time frame chart. And so I shorted, right? And so normally I would have stopped here at VWAP. And you can kind of see here, like on this push up, you see CVD going up, and I added. So this is like the mistake, right? And this is where greed started stepping in for me, where I was like, and also like you can kind of see these candles, they turned white, right? They went bullish. Like if this was pushing up on a gray candle, meaning that delta was negative, I would feel more comfortable, right? But then I added, and at this point, I'm just like, I was like, well, I'm willing to just kind of scale in because I want to have like a big winning day. And then so I let it run. It broke high of day. Again, that was my second place I should have stopped. And then, it pushed, and I was expecting this next candle to kind of, or I think maybe like after it broke and then we closed. Oh, wait, no, no, no. This is where I added. So I added here. Yeah. So I added here and then I stopped out even higher. And so it was problematic there. Like that was just really poor execution on my part. And again, it's just I was being stubborn, but you can kind of see like CVD was crawling up here, right? And it was going bullish. These candles are already green. Um, and I just was like fighting it. I was just fighting it completely. And it's mostly because I didn't want to be wrong, I guess. And I was wanting it to fall over, make a big winning day so I can post it and all that stuff. And I think that really just got into my mental. And so that's something why I'm going to lock down this and just focus on trading and stop trying to show off. Trading full time, like this is what I'm going to do. And I have a life, I got family to take care of and all this stuff. I'm not going to put that pressure on me right now. There's no point. But yeah, like this was just poor, like should have stopped here. Like if I stopped here, that would have been successful, like perfect. But then I kept going at it after it pushed up, thinking, okay, maybe we'll sweep it and fall over. But like CVD was not supporting that. You can kind of see that here. It wasn't supporting that at all. So there's that, right? And so I stop out, super suck. And then I moved on to ES, which I'll kind of show. But when you look at this chart, it's like you see this, we broke above VWAP. CBD turns green. This other indicator that I have here is basically tracking, it's like the CVD for big trades. And so these are trades that are over 50 lots in one go, right? And you can kind of see this is going positive, which means that big players are kind of betting in the upside direction. And so like if you like ignore all the trades here, right, that I took, if you just waited for the CVD to cross green for us to be above BWAP, like anywhere around here would have been a great entry, right? Like you could have gone long, stop below VWAP, and target like long target would be the gap close, and you would have definitely got there. And CVD would have supported you the whole way. This big kind of rolling CVD for big players would have supported you the whole way. Sure, maybe here you would have gotten like scared out and stopped out, which is fine because let's say you stop out, right? And then you turn back green here, it's like, well, you can get back in, right? And that would have been super, super good. Um, and so yeah, just kind of doing this kind of review is kind of for myself, for hindsight and everything, but also demonstrating that like indicators in the system, it will work. It's just the human side of it for trading is the hard part. Um, so anyways, so did wanted to show that. And even here, right, you have all this bullish absorption, bullish absorption, bullish absorption. Like there were so many places, like even as we go up here and it goes bearish in the candles and you see this big push up, for me, it's like, well, this is like you want to get in around here, right? And that would have been super as well. So just wanted to show that the indicators themselves and volume delta and all this stuff, like it works. It's just the human side of the execution, and my execution was terrible. So there's that, and then on ES, and so what I did was I was like, well, let me just kind of take instead of trading micros, which is what I was trading on the NQs, I was going to trade the mini on ES, right, and just trade minis. And so I had some scalps pre-market, took a quick scalp there, kind of forcing that one, you can kind of tell, but I was okay to hold it because I saw this bearish imbalance here. So I was like, okay, but I took it off because I was like, well, like it's, I was like, it's like it was like $250 drawdown, and then it kind of came back, and I was like, let me just get out. Um, but then you can kind of see, well, you can't see here because of this. But then I guess if you come here, you'll start seeing when CBD turns green. It turns green, but this was still red, so there was no trade there. And then look, it turned green, um, right? Turned green here, which is great. And then candles turned green or bullish, and I went long. That entry was perfect. Like that was exactly playbook entry, if you can kind of see that. Um, right? The CBD candles turned green, like it transitioned from bearish to bullish. We're above VWAP, and then CBD on the rolling 60s green, like that is a perfect, great entry. And what I do, because I was already in drawdown at this point, I was just like, okay. And then like, because it's a mini and stuff, it's like, all right, let me just like, take a scalp, right? And so got out like around there. And that was it. Um, and then after this, like, I'm like, okay, let me just wait for a next trade. And then I see this big spike, and I'm just like, at that point, it's like FOMO set in, and I'm just like, what is happening? Like, I should have just held it. And I'm getting emotional at that point. And then so on this push, it's like on this next push up as CBD kind of transitions, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go long. And then like, we pushed back, and I was like, I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm gonna add here because this was kind of bullish coming down, and this was bullish coming down. Add it again, right? And I was expecting like somewhere like a quick bounce from there. It didn't quite happen, right? We went a little bit lower. And then I ended up I ended up stopping here, and then we went lower, and then we kind of went back up, right? And so I think like this trade is not the best trade. I think I was like really going against this. I guess ideal entry in hindsight would have been this like bullish imbalance level. It's like, well, if it gets close to here, maybe this low, this candle, like down here would have been really good. You see some big buyers kind of step up here, some bullish absorption right there. Um, right. And like that candle would have been good, but I think just like at this point, CVD was so close to zero that I was whiplashing that there was no good trades right here, really. Um, and so yeah, like even here, right? Like I mean, I should have just held this one, but I think here, like on this push up, on this transition to green, sure you could have entered there and then put your stop below here. I think I would have held on because I saw the CVD was still green here, and then also it pushes up. You got some imbalance and all that, or this imbalance right here should have kept you in, and then once it turned green, should have kept you in. You're like, okay, let's get to the gap close. Would have been amazing, but yeah. So, anyways, I did want to just kind of be transparent and kind of show this is what it is. Like I said, I'm just going to lock in and just focus. But my plan is to continue kind of using this channel as like my journal where I write things down and everything. And then my plan is to kind of build a track record for the rest of the month, and then I'll open it back up once I get back into my groove. But yeah, I mean that's kind of it. Just wanted to share. Hopefully it's helpful, and good luck, and don't get caught like I did. Thank you.